Chapter 51 Silence is better than sound at this time. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In the ring, Buck-Tooth Sue is a middle-aged man whose iconic appearance is his big, rotten yellow buck teeth. He said in a rough and arrogant voice, I didn't expect that the great spirit fighting arena would arrange for me to be a brat like you. Don't say that I bully you. If you take the initiative to surrender and admit defeat, you might be able to leave the arena with dignity. Otherwise, I can only help you with dignity. It's so disrespectful. Qitian will kill him. Ning Ronron in the audience said loudly, waving his fist. Unfortunately, compared to the noise of the crowd, her little voice was quickly drowned out. Qitian seemed not to be affected and stood on the ring with a calm expression. In order to make the fighting spirit more enjoyable to watch, the competition will not be arranged immediately in the big spirit fighting arena after both players take the stage. The trash talk session before the game is also a highlight of soul fighting. Although Buck Yasu only had the Iron Fighting Soul badge, he had already won 9 consecutive victories before this. His strength was obviously recognized by more than 90% of the audience. It's a pity that the big soul fighting arena will not open for one-on-one soul fighting with low fighting soul badges, otherwise Qitian will have to bet on himself to win. Have you finished speaking? Qitian said lightly. Returning to the familiar arena reminded him of the competition scene in his previous life, and his eyes were suddenly full of fighting spirit. Boy, didn't you hear what I said? Just give up and avoid the physical pain. Buck Yasu emphasized again. This time, Qitian responded to him. Qitian slowly put the index finger of his right hand to his mouth, making a silent gesture. Don't talk too much. This place will be as quiet as a library later. Okay, I want to see how you can silence so many viewers. Buck Yasu sneered. It has to be said that Qitian's words have successfully added a lot of excitement to this spirit fighting competition. Even the senior leaders of the big spirit fighting arena are also curious about how Qitian can silence thousands of spectators. Seeing that the time was ripe, the referee quickly announced, you have 1 minute to activate your martial spirit, and the spirit battle will officially begin in 1 minute. Before that, any early move will automatically result in a loss. Wind Demon Dog, possessed. Buck Yasu immediately activated his martial spirit, and a white, yellow, and purple spirit ring appeared at his feet. Qitian stood there, seemingly not activating his martial spirit. This kid was scared to death. It's okay to just talk. When it comes to the official competition, whether he's a tough talker or really capable will be revealed immediately. Most of the audience thought so, and even everyone in Shrek Academy thought so, but Tang San gave a different view. I know Qitian very well. He wouldn't do such a stupid thing. He should be holding back some big move. Xiao Wu nodded with deep understanding. Ma Hongjun didn't take it seriously and said, oh, there are many people who get stage fright when they get into the ring. Who knows whether he has stage fright or is just pretending to be calm. Jingle bell bell. As the referee rings the bell, the game officially begins. Kid, don't blame me for not giving you a chance. Facing Qitian, who gave away points for free, Buck Yasu was very happy. In spirit fighting competitions that are of a sparring nature, killing is strictly prohibited in the big spirit fighting arena. But the soul skill has no eyes, and as long as it is not used after the opponent loses resistance, he will not be held accountable by the great soul fighting arena. Therefore, Buck Yasu planned to kill Qitian with 1 blow in order to enhance his reputation. The third soul skill, the devil dog bites. Buck Yasu's legs suddenly exerted force and rushed towards Qitian's position. On the way to fly, he opened his mouth wide, and the fishy smell suddenly spread into Qitian's nose. This guy hasn't brushed his teeth for a long time. Buck-Tooth Sue, as his name suggests, he really knows how to bite. A purple soul ring suddenly lit up at Qitian's feet. Since he had not displayed all of his soul rings, in Buck Yasu's eyes, this purple soul ring was considered to be his third soul skill. Not really. The second soul skill is to retreat in order to advance. With a whisper in his mouth, the shadow of a giant turtle surrounded Qitian. His left arm was in a defensive posture in front of him, and his right arm was moved behind his shoulder. The second martial soul is a defensive soul skill. the effect is immediate. Buck Yasu stood in front of the shield, feeling a little confused. Facing the existence of this shield, he had no idea what to say. This kid's martial spirit is actually a turtle, damn brat. If, like Dai Mubai, he declares his family at the beginning, then the other party will only think that the turtle shadow is part of the soul skill, and there will be no misjudgment. As we all know, the Ogwe's spirit focuses on defense and has pitifully low attack power, so Buck Yasu relaxed his vigilance. Let's see how long your turtle shell can resist. Buck Yasu quickly waved his claws, trying to tear apart the opponent's defense. At the same time, Oscar in the audience said scornfully, "Boss Dai, how can you lose to a defensive soul master? You know, the nemesis of a defensive soul master is an offensive soul master. Xiao Ao, his martial spirit is not like this." Dai Mubai had a gloomy face and said in a deep voice, that day, when he fought with Qitian, the opponent's fists were accompanied by dragon roars. It would not be an exaggeration to say that he was a beast soul master with a dragon-type martial spirit. Ning Rongrong was also a little curious. He had met Qitian several times, but he had never really seen his martial spirit. Tang San explained, "Mubai, when Qitian fought with you yesterday, he used a martial spirit. His martial spirit was a fist, a very rare martial spirit. The original martial spirit." Ning Rongrong covered her mouth and said with some surprise, "I have seen in family documents that this kind of martial spirit is classified as the original martial spirit. But there are very few records, and I only know these. The rarer a martial spirit is, the more time it takes to cultivate a martial spirit. Qitian's refusal to become a disciple was the worst decision he made in his life. With the teacher's wisdom, it is not a problem at all to find the most suitable path of cultivation for him." Tang San said sarcastically in his heart, in the arena, Bucktooth Soda attacked on the shield, all of which was converted into the power of a deliberate punch. Qitian felt that the time was right and immediately removed the defense of the second soul skill. "Boy, you still want to fight back?" Bucktoothed Su said teasingly, "After all, how much attack power can the turtle spirit have?" Qitian smiled. From the moment the other party misjudged his martial spirit, the outcome was already doomed. He punched out fiercely, and the shadow of a golden dragon lingered on his arm. As the dragon roar sounded, the golden dragon roared and rushed towards Buck Yasu. Deliberate punch, there was a loud bang, and Bucktooth Su had no time to react, and he was knocked away. The wind demon dog is only an agility-based martial spirit. Facing Qitian's attack, Buck Yasu would still have to shed his skin even if he survived. For a moment, the great soul fighting arena was extremely silent. The audience, who were still chatting and talking, opened their mouths in unison, but no sound came out of their mouths. If Qitian's martial spirit is a turtle, what about the giant dragon he just defeated? This situation lasted for more than a minute. The host was the first to regain his composure and said in an extremely exaggerated tone, "Wow, the God of War player has proven with practical actions that he is worthy of the name of God of War. Let us congratulate the God of War player for his final victory in this battle of spirits." Chapter 52 The True Nature of the Overlord. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Flanders in the audience, seeing this situation, immediately analyzed in his mind. In that blow just now, he did not summon a soul ring. There was no soul power fluctuation on his arm. This was a self-created soul skill. Thoughts similar to this arose in the hearts of many soul masters who were watching. On Douluo Continent, there are only two ways to obtain soul skills. The first is to rely on absorbing soul rings, and the second is to absorb soul bones. Self-created soul skills are independent of soul rings and soul bones. You must know that the power of soul skills is directly linked to the age of soul rings and soul bones. This is not the case with self-created soul skills, which will continue to increase in power as the soul master's strength increases. I found a treasure this time. I just don't know if I can survive these 10 days. Flanders could tell that Qitian was a little indifferent to the Shrek people. This is normal. Compared with others, Qitian's talent and strength are even better. Geniuses all have their own personalities, and Flanders is not surprised by this. At the same time, he was thinking in his mind about how to quickly integrate Qitian into Shrek's team. on the stage. Qitian did not miss the cheers of the audience too much and quickly left the stage. As a boxing champion in his previous life, he had won 10 consecutive victories, and his opponents were all top-notch fighters. A mere victory was not worth the turmoil in his heart. Complete the event, get the first victory in the big spirit battle arena, and be rewarded with a special skill, the true nature of the Overlord. The true nature of the Overlord. As you continue to punch, the attack power of each punch gradually stacks up to a maximum of 81 levels. Note, the target must be hit. Once the punch is empty, the superposition will start again. This is somewhat similar to the random cloak hammering technique. Qitian touched his chin and analyzed in his mind, the strongest power can only be achieved after 81 stacks. I just don't know which one is stronger or weaker between the two. Trigger event. One-on-one spirit fighting in the big spirit fighting arena, 30 consecutive wins, 50 consecutive wins, 100 consecutive wins. Passive trigger, complete corresponding events, and receive rewards in stages. Name, Qitian. Rating, Warrior, 60%. Martial Spirit, Double Fists, Double Eyes. Strength, 1420. Spirit, 2000. Soul Power, 34. Soul Ring, Yellow Purple. Special Skills, Deliberate Punch, Qingyun Step, Overlord's True Colors. Looking at the system's subtitles that came to his mind, Qitian was immediately filled with fighting spirit. 100 consecutive victories is definitely an achievement that is difficult to achieve, and the continent's largest soul fighting arena may not appear in history, but Qitian will not back down. Even if he loses midway, he can start over. Moreover, with the additional increase provided by his rating, who is his opponent in the same level? If nothing else works, open a few new identities and use alt accounts to try to win the battle. Returning to the auditorium, Daimubai's soul fighting was about to begin. You are just lucky. My opponent is also level 39. Qitian, just watch and see how I win. Before leaving, Daimubai did not forget to brush up on his presence. Qitian didn't bother to pay attention to this kind of stupid criticism and simply ignored him. After all, Daimubai was not worthy of his attention in terms of strength or character. In Qitian's heart, he was not even as worthy of attention as Tang San. Ning Rongrong pulled Qitian aside and asked in a low voice, "Brother Qitian, is your martial spirit a fist?" Qitian shrugged. This was not a secret after all, as you can see. Ning Rongrong saw that no one was paying attention to her, so she said, "I have read in family records that the original martial spirit can be awakened a second time. After that, your martial spirit will add special attributes. If you are good, it is possible to awaken the ultimate attributes. By then, your martial spirit will enter the ranks of super martial spirits." Qitian has long known about the second awakening of the original martial soul. In fact, after absorbing the first soul ring, his double fist martial soul was equivalent to a second awakening. Otherwise, how could his fist produce a golden dragon shadow? Of course, strictly speaking, this is not a true second awakening. Qitian did not inherit the metallicity in the golden dragon's body. Miss Ning Rongrong, thank you for reminding me, I'll take note of it. Qitian responded solemnly. A bright smile appeared on Ning Rongrong's face, and she once again pulled Qitian to sit aside. Qitian did not want to have too much contact with her, so he left the auditorium on the pretext of going out for some fresh air. There are many sub-fighting arenas in the Great Soul Fighting Arena, and not long after, everyone from Shrek Academy was arranged to compete. The progress of the competition was not the same. Tang San and Xiao Wu were peak spirit masters, and it was their first time to participate in the spirit fight. Their opponents were very weak, and the spirit fight ended quickly. It is worth mentioning that this time, Zhu Zhuqing did not face off against Tang San. Her opponent was not very strong and was defeated in her hands after only a few rounds. When Qitian returned to the auditorium again, everyone except Daimubai had returned. Although Ma Hongjun lost the battle, at this moment, instead of reflecting on his mistakes, he stared at the beautiful woman in the audience and teased her with his eyes from time to time. Qitian didn't want to talk too much nonsense to such a shameless guy. "Isn't Daimubai back yet?" Qitian couldn't help but ask. No, his spirit battle just ended. I didn't pay attention and don't know the result of the game. It was Ning Rongrong who spoke. She and Dai Mubai didn't deal with each other very much, so she didn't pay attention to each other's games. Zhu Zhuqing, on the other hand, said in a neutral tone, he lost. You bitch, what are you talking about? Dai Mubai came behind everyone at some point. When he heard Zhu Zhuqing's words, he suddenly felt embarrassed and shouted loudly. Mubai. Looking at the other party's disgraced look, Tang San hesitated to speak. When going to fight the soul, Dai Mubai put down his bold words. But now, not only did he fail to eliminate his opponent quickly, he actually lost the game. Ning Rongrong put her hands on her hips and snorted coldly. Why are you yelling? What Zhu Qing said is the truth. Didn't you lose? A grown man, yelling and screaming here, what kind of skills does it have? If you have the ability, go to the ring to vent it. Rongrong, please stop saying a few words. Tang San said solemnly. Ning Rongrong had just been scolded by Flanders today, and she must be feeling angry. Now, Dai Mubai was angry again. If two gunpowder jars were put together, once they were detonated, the atmosphere inside Shrek Academy would be very delicate. Yu Xiaojiang once told him that if a team wants to go long-term, internal conflicts must be controlled within a certain range. The two parties involved have never established a friendship. If the relationship is at a standstill at this time, there will be no room for relaxation in the future. Tang San felt that it was necessary for him to stand up and resolve the conflict. What, did I say something wrong? Ning Rongrong refused to give in at all. Dai Mubai said angrily, Ning Rongrong, who do you think you are? Don't think that I dare not do anything to you. If you make me angry, I will rape you first and then kill you, then rape and then kill you. Boring. Zhu Zhuqing glanced at Dai Mubai with disdain, then turned away. Chapter 53 Shrek's internal conflicts begin to emerge. You are listening at novelfull.audio. According to the original situation of time and space, Dai Mubai and Ning Rongrong had conflicts, but at that time, Ning Rongrong had been isolated by everyone, and Tang San used the method of provocation to reveal to Ning Rongrong overtly and covertly that if she refused to give in, then there would be no place for her in Shrek Academy. In the end, Ning Rongrong was forced to bow his head, but Dai Mubai generously expressed that this was all in the past tense. After that, Tang San once again used hidden weapons to completely capture Ning Rongrong, and only then did the people within Shrek Academy truly unite. There is nothing wrong with giving in when conflicts arise. But this is mutual. Isn't it unfair to let Ning Rongrong give in alone, while Dai Mubai does nothing and gets all the praise? Of course, Qitian would only stay in Shrek Academy for a few days, and he did not want to care about these conflicts. But Dai Mubai had provoked him before, and because he couldn't stand Tang San's style, Qitian immediately said. Dai Mubai, are you only good at talking? What do you mean? Dai Mubai said angrily, I had made bold promises in front of Qitian before, but the result was a disastrous failure. In his heart, he was somewhat ashamed. Being angry is just to cover up the embarrassment, Qitian said unhurriedly. Practice as much as you can, and don't embarrass yourself if you can't afford to lose. Dai Mubai pointed in the direction of the ring and said loudly, if that guy hadn't surpassed me in soul power level, would I have lost? If I were at the same level as him, he would never be able to beat me. His voice was so loud that the audience sitting near them had a hard time not hearing him. I don't know how many times I have heard this saying. If you lose, you blame your opponent for suppressing you in some way. If you win, it will only be attributed to your own strength. That's right, I'm not ashamed to say it so loudly. Dai Mubai was furious at the anger from the audience. Seeing that something was not going well, Tang San immediately grabbed him. Mubai, calm down for a moment. There will be a 2-on-2 spirit fight next. We can win it back when the time comes. As he said that, he looked at Ning Rongrong with an evil look. Rongrong, apologized to Mubai quickly. If you hadn't taken the initiative to provoke me, Mubai wouldn't be angry. Without waiting for Ning Rongrong to express his position, Xiao Wu immediately questioned, third brother, what's wrong with Rongrong? It's obviously this lewd tiger who took the initiative to stir up trouble, and Rongrong just said a few words to Zhu Qing. When he met Dai Mubai on the first day, he hugged her on both sides. Now, while he was thinking about getting Zhu Qing back, he was disconnected from the twin sisters. Xiao Wu has long disliked such a guy. Hearing Xiao Wu's words, Tang San sighed and no longer insisted on his opinion. Qitian continued, Dai Mubai, if you lose the game, you lose. If you want to make progress, you should analyze the reasons for your failure and win back next time. Instead of blaming others like a resentful woman here. Zhu Qing just said the result of the game. If you think this is offensive to you, then your character is not as good as that of Zhu Qing, let alone your brother. Hearing the word brother, Dai Mubai became furious, and 3 yellow, and purple soul rings appeared at his feet. Qitian, let me tell you, don't think that I don't know the relationship between you and Ning Rongrong. If you have the guts to fight with me now, don't you dare. Flanders, who was in the audience on the other side, originally wanted to wait and see who had the ability to resolve conflicts, and then considered making him the leader of the team. Unexpectedly, Dai Mubai would do such a thing. If they are not stopped and allowed to fight in the audience, I am afraid that Shrek Academy will be classified as unwelcome in the great soul fighting arena. In the future, they may not have the opportunity to train here. That's enough. How do you look like each one? Don't you think it's embarrassing or not? Mubai, both you and Rongrong are wrong about this matter. You can come to me to review before class tomorrow. Flanders ended the conflict with this method of each side playing 50-50 pieces. However, Dai Mubai and Zhu Qing are already at odds with each other, and they will definitely not be able to cooperate in the next 2-on-2 spirit fight. After thinking for a moment, Flanders ordered Tang San and Dai Mubai to temporarily form a team, while Xiao Wu and Zhu Qing formed a team, so that the next spirit battle could continue. The 3 girls sat together. Xiao Wu said angrily, this guy really pisses me off. Dai Mubai is not a good person to begin with. Zhu Qing, let me tell you, Dai Mubai is still with. Fortunately, Dai Mubai sat far enough away, with Flanders between them, otherwise Dai Mubai would have been incompetent and furious. As time passed, 2 versus 2 and team spirit fights of 7 to 10 people were placed in the spirit fighting arena at the prime time after dinner. At this time, everyone in the city had already had dinner, and even the dinner party was over. Moreover, there is still 1 hour left before the average time to sleep. Putting the highly entertaining soul fighting scenes at this time will undoubtedly increase the audience's enthusiasm and ratings. As the announcement sounded in the great soul fighting arena, everyone went to their respective arenas. Qitian and Ning Rongrong were the only 2 people left in the Shrek Academy audience. Dai Mubai is a battle soul master. If you have a conflict with him, aren't you afraid that he will stab you in the back? That this is also the main reason why he doesn't like the Qibao glazed sect. A group of auxiliary soul masters, who don't do their best honestly, but extend their hands to the whole continent, will have trouble if they don't get wiped out. You know, Ning Fengji is very active in Douluo Continent. The Qibao glazed sect's industries are spread all over the continent, which shows how ambitious Ning Fengji is. Ning Rongrong was right to accuse Dai Mubai based on the facts. But the mistake was that she was an auxiliary soul master, while Dai Mubai was a combat soul master. If the 7 treasure glazed tile sect was not behind her and an auxiliary soul master accused the battle soul master, wouldn't this be courting death? What's more, Ning Rongrong didn't have enough friends to compete with Dai Mubai in Shrek Academy. Ning Rongrong muttered and said, Brother Qitian, you will help me, right? Qitian sneered and said, based on the facts, I can help you this time. But what about next time? What about the future? You know, you will not survive if you do it yourself. In the absence of Dai Mubai, Flanders will still try his best to please Ning Rongrong, the financial sponsor. He said. From now on, don't say anything that is not conducive to unity. You are a unit. Even if Dai Mubai is at fault, you can tell this dean and I will teach him a lesson personally. Invite the God of War team and the Python brothers to participate in the spirit fight at the first spirit fighting field in the border area. The announcement in the Great Soul Fighting Arena rang, and Qitian and Ning Rongrong walked towards the contestants' tunnel together. as for what he just said, I don't know if Ning Rongrong listened to it. Meanwhile, Dai Mubai and Tang San defeated their opponents. Although these two people had little cooperation, they relied on their own hard power to easily defeat their opponents. Compared with before, Dai Mubai's walking pace this time was obviously much brisker. Chapter 54 Python Brothers. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Tang San, you're right, I really should have calmed down just now. Fortunately, you were in charge of the spirit fight just now, otherwise I'm afraid it wouldn't be so easy to win. Dai Mubai said with a laugh. Obviously, the victory of the 2-on-2 spirit fight helped him gain a lot of face. Tang San echoed with a smile, and thought to himself at the same time, this guy Qitian actually wants to fight with Ning Rongrong. I have to find a way to unite Dai Mubai first, and then slowly unite Rongrong. As for Qitian, Tang San had never regarded him as one of his own. At least, before Qitian became a disciple of Yu Shaojiang, he was always an outsider. Once the other 6 people were united, Qitian was completely isolated. By then, will the Shrek Academy team still let him have the final say? Moreover, the task Yu Shaojiang gave him before leaving was to make him the leader of the students at Shrek Academy. As a Control Soul Master, he must have enough prestige in the team to make his teammates trust him unconditionally in the soul battle. At this time, hearing the announcement from the Great Soul Fighting Arena, Tang San said with a smile, Mubai, the next match is Qitian, let's go and have a look. Know yourself and the enemy, and you will never be in danger in 100 battles. Since you want to defeat him, why not take a look the way he strikes out? Dai Mubai thought it made sense and simply went to the side auditorium with Tang San to watch the game. In the player tunnel, the opponents of Qitian and the Boa Constrictor brothers are a pair of twin brothers who look very similar. The two of them were slender, and their tongues grew into the shape of snake shinzi, perhaps due to the influence of martial spirits. At this moment, while they were confiding in snake shinzi, they were looking at Qitian and Qitian intently. Before hunting, snake spirit beasts usually carefully assess the situation of their opponents so that when they attack, they can make their opponents lose their resistance with one blow. In a one-on-one situation, Qitian may not be afraid of them. But at the same time, facing two people who cooperate tacitly, his fist is likely to hit the cotton, causing him to be unable to use his strength. After thinking about countermeasures for a while, Qitian whispered in Ning Rongrong's ear before stepping onto the ring, after the game starts, you will give me all the increases in the 2 soul skills, and then immediately exit the ring. Do you understand? With Ning Rongrong by his side, in order to protect the safety of the opponent, it will affect the efficiency of his actions. Moreover, the 2-on-2 spirit fighting arena is not very big. Once the opponent's target is locked on Ning Rongrong, they will be passive. Is it okay for you to be alone? They are level 39 soul masters. Ning Rongrong was a little timid. The 2 Python brothers stared at her, making her shudder. The purpose of 2-on-2 spirit fighting with support is to be prepared for 1-on-2. Ning Rongrong's early exit would also make Qitian less worried. On the ring, as all players from both sides appeared on the stage, the host immediately aroused the atmosphere of the audience. The God of War player not long ago defeated a player who was about to win 10 consecutive victories with one punch. This time in the 2-on-2 spirit fight, he chose to bring an auxiliary spirit master. Does this mean that he is confident? How about 1 versus 2? Many of the spectators in this spirit fight were old viewers of Qitian's previous 1-on-1 spirit fight. The audience's thinking is very simple. They will discover players with potential and then follow this player's games for a long time. If this player maintains a winning streak for a long time, he will get a round of cheers from the audience wherever he appears. In this society where the strong is king, strength means the right to speak. The audience naturally admires the strong even more. Seeing that the audience's emotions had been aroused, the host struck a chord while the iron was hot. Unfortunately, the God of War contestants are unlucky. Their opponents, the Python brothers, have already won 15 consecutive victories in a 1-on-1 spirit battle. Even in a 2-on-2 spirit fight, they still achieved 8 consecutive victories. Let us wait and see who will win this battle of spirits. Next, comes the trash-talking session. However, the Python brothers are cold by nature and do not want to talk too much. And Qitian is not that naive like Dai Mubai, so why should he say harsh words? Seeing that the harsh words were ignored by both sides, the referee had no choice but to announce, "You have 1 minute to activate your martial arts before the game officially begins." The snake's character is very cautious, and under the influence of the martial spirit, the Python brothers' character is also the same. The moves used on Buk Yasu didn't work here. Tian simply activated his martial spirit, and 3 yellow, purple and purple spirit rings appeared at his feet. "Qitian, you actually possess the 1,000-year-old second ring." Ning Rongrong opened her mouth wide and suddenly felt that the 2 yellow soul rings under her feet no longer smelled good. How did he do the second 1,000-year ring? Dai Mubai was a little confused. Qitian surpassed him in terms of soul ring configuration. No wonder he was no match for him. This made sense, Tang San said solemnly. His second spirit ring was obtained by the dean for him when he was in the Junior Soul Master Academy. It is said that something unexpected happened while absorbing the spirit ring, which finally caused the spirit ring to appear. Purple Millennium level. This reason was what Su Chongqing told Yu Xiaojiang. Of course, this is just a lie made up by the former. Unexpectedly, Yu Xiaojiang not only believed it to be true, but also summarized it into a theory he proposed. "I found a treasure now, Xiaojiang, what kind of monster did you send me?" Flanders said with a complicated mood, "He has such a genius in his hands. If he can't teach him well, it will be a big loss." His eyes returned to the arena. The soul ring configuration of Brother Boa Constrictor is yellow, yellow and purple, which is the best configuration of soul ring, but when faced with Qitian's yellow and purple colors, he couldn't help but feel eclipsed. "You are very strong. My name is Shida, and I am very happy to be your opponent." One of the Python brothers said. As for the other person, his name is Shier. Jingle bell bell. As the referee sounded the gong, the spirit fight officially began. "Rong, do as I say." After Qitian finished speaking, he took the initiative to greet the other two. The 2 yellow soul rings at Ning Rongrong's feet lit up instantly. The 7 treasures are famous, one is strength, the other is speed. As the 2 7-colored rays of light entered the body, Qitian's strength and speed increased by 30%. Ning Rongrong looked back at Qitian before jumping off the ring, but she did not leave directly. After being eliminated as a contestant, as long as the spirit battle was not over, she could watch the battle at close range under the ring. Ning Rongrong watched the battle on the ring nervously, feeling very worried about Qitian's safety. The first soul skill, Snake Toughness. The Python brothers activated their first soul skill at the same time, and 2 python shadows emerged from the ground, trying to wrap around Qitian. The python's body is stronger than the Bluesilver Grass, and they also have entanglement-type soul skills, but their entanglement is much stronger than Tang San's entanglement. When faced with control-type soul skills, you must not use defensive methods. Otherwise, once control is established, it will be difficult to get rid of it. The first soul skill, Shenglong Fist. The left and right fist struck simultaneously, and 2 golden dragon shadows shot out, interrupting the python's trajectory. With Ning Rongrong's speed increase and Qinyan's stepping movement, Qitian quickly avoided the opponent's first wave of attacks. Chapter 55 Martial Soul Fusion Skill Void Snake. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Pythons are very patient, and their advantage lies in their high concentration and accumulation. The first trial failed, but the 2 Python brothers were not discouraged. The 2 quickly spread out and launched attacks from both sides of Qitian at the same time. The second soul skill, Snake Walk. The speed of the 2 people increased a lot, forming 2 afterimages around Qitian, facing the attack of the python. The newly obtained stunt Overlord's true color was completely unable to be used. You know, after the 2 of them get close, they will not confront themselves head-on. Instead, they will find ways to use their soft bodies to restrain themselves. Thinking of this, the third soul skill at Qitian's feet suddenly lit up. The third soul skill, Fist Lai Gangfeng. The fists punched out violently, even though in the eyes of others it was punching the air. the effect of the third soul skill was exactly that. As the number of punches continued to increase, a strong wind gradually formed around Qitian. Gang Feng was extremely aggressive, and she and they had originally planned to surround Qitian, but had to give up. "Brother, don't resist." Xier, who had suffered a lot, reminded him quickly, "And it's not over yet, the Gang Feng in Qitian's hand is constantly expanding. Once the Gangfeng size covers the entire arena, the two of them will be eliminated directly. Advance in a roundabout way. No matter how strong the wind is, it can only hit one side. Second, you attack from the side." Shida immediately arranged his tactics. The movement of the two changed. Shida rushed to Qitian, his soft waist and abdomen instantly exerted force. His body was like a human slingshot, and the right leg he kicked was like a stone fired by the slingshot. "Do you want to win by relying on numerical superiority?" Qitian said with a faint smile. The change of formation between the two was so obvious that it was not difficult to see through their intentions. This is a conspiracy. The two of them are in different directions. Either Qitian chooses to resist this kick forcefully, or he is attacked by Xier behind him. No matter which one you choose, Qitian will only suffer, but they seem to have forgotten that Qitian is not a wooden stake. He can move his position. "Well done." Qitian punched out. Shida was not an offensive spirit master. Faced with Qitian's domineering punch, he had no choice but to avoid the edge temporarily. I thought that Xier's sneak attack would be successful, but unexpectedly, Qitian, relying on Qinyan Bu's movement technique, rushed out of their encirclement like a ghost. Xier didn't have time to stop, and rushed in front of Shida before stopping. In an instant, the situation reversed. The two people, who were originally separated, reunited in the center of the ring. Qitian didn't hesitate and knocked out the Gang Feng in his hand. In the distance, Flanders in the audience couldn't help shouting, "Beautiful." Turning passivity into initiative, I have to say that Qitian is a very talented person and bold. Just now, if he moves a little slower, he will be attacked by Xier. Of course, if the two Python brothers were not given the idea that they could take advantage, I'm afraid they would immediately change their tactics. Sure enough, while I am making progress, he is also making progress. Tang San frowned, and a sense of urgency arose in his heart. You know, Qitian's style of play just now, he might not have dared to do it. This requires not only being confident enough in one's own strength, but also having absolute control over the overall situation. At least this is something Tang San can't do yet. Xiao Wu, who had just finished fighting the spirit, couldn't help but complain, "This guy, if he slows down a bit, he will be at a disadvantage because of his arrogance." As a boxer, Qitian controls the opponent's attack rhythm very strictly. In the eyes of people who don't know the truth, this is a gamble, but in the eyes of insiders, this is a normal coping strategy. Zhu Zhuqing's eyes changed slightly as he looked at Qitian, comparing him with Dai Mubai. Forget it, this is really praising Dai Mubai. The boa constrictor brothers resisted the damage caused by the strong wind and were all covered in glory. If Gang Feng is used to its extreme by Qitian, there is absolutely no way they can resist it, but there are no ifs. Qitian will not use such a good opportunity to continue to increase the power of Gang Feng. "Brother." Xier only needed one look, and Shida immediately understood. Unlike before, this time the two of them took the initiative to get closer together. If anything went wrong, there must be monsters. Qitian did not dare to be careless and quickly distanced himself from them. The third soul skill, Snake of the Void. The two of them activated the third soul skill at the same time, but it seemed that it was not over yet. The next moment, their martial souls were connected end to end, forming a ring-shaped space door, and a huge purple-black python jumped out of it. This is a martial soul fusion skill. Qitian was shocked. You must know that the conditions for the creation of martial soul fusion skills are quite stringent. Not only do the two people need to have very similar auras, but they also need to have a high degree of tacit understanding. The Python brothers are twin brothers, and they have an innate advantage in forming martial soul fusion skills. Once the martial soul fusion skill is formed, its power is enough to defeat the opponent. Martial soul fusion skill, the anger of the void snake. that the purple-black python's scarlet eyes stared at Qitian, and the next moment, the dark purple snake's tail struck towards Qitian's position. The second soul skill is to retreat in order to advance. The shadow of the Solitan giant turtle appeared around Qitian. With a bang, the giant python's powerful impact caused cracks to appear on the giant turtle's shadow. When Flanders saw this, he immediately lost his composure and shouted, "Hurry up and admit defeat," that the dark aura coming from the giant python was too weird, and even with the strength of Soul Saint, he didn't want to be contaminated at all. Qitian did not hear his voice. At this time, the martial spirit of his eyes quietly opened. Even if he didn't obtain a soul ring for the second martial soul, his eyesight could still clearly observe the situation of the Python brothers. Qitian murmured, "They don't seem to be able to fully control the martial soul fusion skills they display. This giant python's attack seems powerful, but it is completely unorganized. The foundation of martial soul fusion skills lies in people. As long as one of them is interrupted, the martial soul fusion skills will be defeated. Moreover, these two people are not proficient in martial soul fusion skills, so they must spend all their energy on it." Thinking of this, Qitian slowly retreated his right fist behind his shoulder while defending. The arena for 2-on-2 spirit fighting is a circle with a diameter of about 25 meters. The enhanced deliberate punch can hit 20 meters, and the distance between the two sides is only 10 meters at this moment. Bang! As the giant python's tail struck again, the giant turtle's shadow could no longer hold up and shattered. Now, deliberately punch. Coupled with the power of the giant python's blow, the power of this deliberately punched blow should not be underestimated. Roar! Along with a dragon roar, a galloping golden dragon crashed into the Python brothers. With no time to defend themselves, the two of them were knocked out of the ring, and the giant python's figure also shattered. Oh, the God of War contestant actually shattered the martial soul fusion skills of the Python brothers. It's unbelievable, simply unbelievable. The host announced in an extremely exaggerated tone. In the Soto City Great Soul Fighting Arena, in a game where martial soul fusion skills have appeared, the side with martial soul fusion skills has never lost. Qitian finally set a new record. Chapter 56 Internal Strife. You are listening at novelfull.audio. This time, it was not a head-on defeat of the martial soul fusion technique, but Qitian's pinpointing their weaknesses, causing the martial soul fusion technique to defeat itself without any attack. Otherwise, unless the deliberate punching can add more power, he will not go head-to-head with the martial soul fusion technique. After getting off the ring, Ning Rongrong said with excitement, "Brother Qitian, you are too powerful. This way, I will accumulate 1 point on my fighting spirit badge." The amplifying effect of her soul skills had been cut off when Qitian activated her third soul skill. It is not an exaggeration to say that she won by lying down. Qitian said indifferently, "Without you here, I wouldn't be able to participate in a 2-on-2 spirit fight by myself." After that, he left from the player channel and ignored the other party. Ning Rongrong was slightly dazed and left the ring with some disappointment. With the end of the 2-on-2 spirit fight between Qitian and Ning Rongrong, tonight's special training at Shrek Academy came to an end. Flanders did not urge everyone to leave, but warned, "Don't go back to the academy too late. Watch more team fighting spirits. It will be helpful for your subsequent training." With that said, he took Ma Hongjun and left the Great Soul Fighting Arena. "Where are the Dean and the Fat Man going?" Tang San couldn't help but ask. That slutty fat man couldn't control himself when he saw a girl. He was probably dragged by the Dean to teach him a lesson. Xiao Wu put her hands on her hips and said dissatisfiedly, Dai Mubai was in a good mood since he won the 2-on-2 spirit fight. He joked, "You are wrong about that. Fatty is the Dean's direct disciple, and the Dean can't bear to scold him. There's nothing I can do about it. Who made Fatty's martial spirit defective? The Dean is taking him to vent it out. What are you doing? How can the Dean condone this evil trend? If you ask me, that damn fat guy should be tied up." Xiao Wu said angrily. Dai Mubai shrugged, as if it had nothing to do with him. "This is not possible." The Dean tried to suppress the evil fire in the fat man's body, but the fat man's reaction was very strong, and there was even a risk of his body exploding to death. So, The dean had no choice but to choose this method, at least to save the fat man's life. I see you're going there too. Zhu Zhuqing snorted coldly and walked out of the great soul fighting arena without looking back. She didn't even need to inquire about Dai Mubai's deeds. If she went to a random tea house, many people would talk about Dai Xiao's romantic deeds. When he first came to Soto City, Zhu Zhuqing still didn't believe it, thinking that someone was deliberately spreading rumors, but after joining Shrek Academy, she realized that her idea was wrong. Dai Mubai had fallen to the point where everyone knew about it. Following a guy like this, she couldn't see any hope for the future. If you can give Dai Mubai a good look, then that's a good thing. Dai Mubai was in a pretty good mood now, so he explained and quickly followed. Xiao Wu lectured Tang San. Xiao San, you are not allowed to go to that kind of place, do you hear me? Tang San laughed dryly and promised again and again. Afterwards, the two of them did not stay in the great soul fighting arena any longer. Tang San saw that the gap between himself and Qitian was getting wider and wider, and a sense of urgency arose spontaneously. After returning to the academy, he must start practicing immediately and strive to break through level 30 as soon as possible. More than half of the people left, and the remaining people had no interest in watching the soul fighting and returned to the academy one after another. However, Qitian chose to leave for a while. Instead of going to Gulan, he found a restaurant and packed some cold dishes. The food in Shrek Academy is not something humans can eat. In order to maintain the muscle content in his body and be in a better condition for training, Qitian had to make a small plan for himself. Along the way, Dai Mubai chased Zhu Zhuqing and kept explaining something, but the latter didn't seem to hear him. Until he entered the confines of the academy, Dai Mubai couldn't bear it anymore and said, Zhu Zhuqing, stop here. Zhu Zhuqing ignored him. Instead of stopping, he accelerated his pace. Dai Mubai didn't have a good temper, and none of the girls he usually played with obeyed his words. After explaining for so long, Zhu Zhuqing not only didn't listen, but instead put on a bad face. Without me, you are nothing. Don't you really think that everything will be fine if you choose to leave me? Don't be naive. Zhu Zhuyan will not let you go, and Davis will not let you go. Without me, you will only die. Zhu Zhuqing's face changed slightly. What Dai Mubai said was true. The rules of succession to the throne of the Star Luo Empire needed both of them to face it together. In history, it is not that there are no Zhu family members who want to withdraw unilaterally, but the outcome of these people is death without exception. A tear fell from the corner of Zhu Zhuqing's eyes. She didn't say anything more and continued walking towards the academy. If you dare to leave today, we will be completely cut off. Dai Mubai threatened. Tang San and the others who were walking behind them rushed over after hearing the movement. Mubai, what's going on? At this moment, Tang San finally understood that the target of Dai Mubai's anger was not Ning Rongrong, but the usually taciturn Zhu Zhuqing. Dai Mubai had previously talked about their relationship. But now Tang San doesn't know the system of the Xinglua Empire, so he only thinks that Dai Mubai is hating him out of love. Zhu Zhuqing passed by a few people as if he didn't see them. Douluo Continent is a male-dominated society, and being ignored by his fiancée, Dai Mubai only felt that he had lost face. Tang San, get out of my way, I have to teach this bitch a lesson today. He rolled up his sleeves, ready to take action. Xiao San, please leave him alone and see what kind of noise he can make. Xiao Wu lost her temper and said with an angry look on her face. In her eyes, Dai Mubai should respect Zhu Zhuqing's decision. Just like Tang San, whatever she wants to do, Tang San will support him unconditionally. Of course, she would also support Tang San. Respect is mutual, not something Dai Mubai takes for granted. Boss Dai, it's getting late. Let's go back and rest first. Oscar stepped forward and pulled Dai Mubai's sleeve to return to the dormitory. Oscar, won't he leave on his own? Ning Rongrong couldn't help but complain. Facing Xiao Wu, Dai Mubai might not be able to get angry. Because he felt that Tang San was a good brother who could get along with him, and as his brother's lover, he would give him some face, but Ning Rongrong was different. She opposed him over and over again and dared to laugh at him. There was a roar of a tiger, and Dai Mubai directly activated his martial spirit. The momentum of the 37th level Soul Master directly knocked Oscar to the ground, with his brother on one side and his crush on the other. Oscar is a little hard to make a choice. Looking at Xiao Wu, who was about to make a move, Tang San advised, Mu Bai are all classmates, don't hurt the harmony. Classmate? Ha, if there is me, Dai Mu Bai, in Shrek Academy, there will be no Ning Rongrong. If there is Ning Rongrong, there will be no me, Dai Mu Bai. Tang San, Oscar, make your choice. Dai Mu Bai became angry. Said angrily. Chapter 57 Double Breakthrough. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Xiao Wu was obviously on the same side as Ning Rongrong, and Tang San couldn't make a choice. You must know that once a choice is made, it means that there will be a split within Shrek Academy, and the possibility of uniting everyone in the future will be very slim. As for Oscar, he simply lay on the ground and pretended to be dead. I think you are just incompetent and furious, Xiao San. Last time we didn't fight with Dai Yanhu, we just took advantage of today's opportunity to let him see how powerful we are. Xiao Wu said without giving in. She might not like Ning Rongrong very much, but she would never accept Dai Mu Bai's demeaning style of women. Just when Tang San was thinking about how to persuade him to make peace, Zhao Wuji's figure walked out of the darkness. Why are you so noisy at night? Do you want to practice more? If you have nothing to do, go back to bed and wait until dawn to see how I deal with you. Zhao Wuji rubbed his fists and had the momentum to teach everyone a lesson. Dai Mu Bai said harshly, okay, for teacher Zhao's sake I can stop today. Ning Rongrong, please remember to keep your mouth clean from now on, or I'll kill you. Who are you going to kill? Mu Bai, I think your skin is itchy, get out of here. Zhao Wuji's expression was extremely ugly. Ning Rongrong is the eldest lady of the Qibao glazed sect. If these words reach Ning Fengji's ears, their Shrek Academy will be doomed. Dai Mu Bai knew very well how powerful Zhao Wuji was and walked toward Soto City without looking back. As for where he is going, anyone with a discerning eye knows. Qitian passed him when he returned to the academy. Looking at his posture, he knew that Dai Mu Bai's pride was at work again. However, the Zhao Wuji in front of him is the most important thing. At this moment, Zhao Wuji had no injuries on his body, and his attitude towards Tang San was almost the same as when the two met for the first time in the original time and space. Tang Hao really can't get away. Qitian smiled. The culprit who caused him to be wanted was Xiao Wu. Without the latter's recklessness, Tang Hao would not have been in trouble. This is always good news. Knowing that Tang Hao is not nearby, he can be bolder next. Are you Qitian? Zhao Wuji immediately changed his expression. Who are you? Qitian pretended to be confused. This is Teacher Zhao, the strongest person in our college besides the dean, and also a strong soul saint. Oscar stood up immediately and introduced Qitian. He was not very enthusiastic, just to relieve the embarrassment of pretending to be dead before. Zhao Wuji smiled and said, you are very good. It is getting late, everyone should go back and rest. Qitian just joined the college today. The previous dormitory was already full, so Zhao Wuji simply arranged a single room for him. At night, Qitian sat cross-legged on the bed. I didn't expect that the internal strife in Shrek Academy would be more serious than in the original time and space. In the original time and space, Ning Rongrong did not go to the Great Soul Fighting Arena with the team tonight. That is to say, when I came back, I had a quarrel with Dai Mu Bai. In addition, she was alone in Shrek Academy and wanted to prove to her father, so she could only grit her teeth and swallow this sigh of relief, but this time it was different. I wonder if it was because of Qitian's presence. Ning Rongrong was much bolder than before. More importantly, Xiao Wu seemed to be on her side. Qitian did not expect that the butterfly effect would be so serious. If Shrek Academy cannot unite as one, will they still be qualified to win the Soul Master Competition Championship in the future? That night, Flanders returned to the academy. After learning about the situation from Zhao Wuji, he felt a headache. Hey, no wonder Sect Master Ning would give away his precious daughter. I guess in the Qibao glazed sect, he must also have a huge headache about this. Zhao Wuji said anxiously, Dean, Sect Master Ning has given us so much money, it's not easy to get the money at all. I just asked Oscar that the main point of conflict between the little monsters is Mu Bai and Ning Rongrong. That kid Mu Bai is okay, but Ning Rongrong and Qitian are a bit ambiguous, we can't suppress each other. Dai Mu Bai is an old student of Shrek Academy and has donated a lot of money, so he certainly cannot be expelled. As for Ning Rongrong, that is even more unrealistic. Flanders thought for a long time and came up with a compromise. Old Zhao, if I remember correctly, Oscar, Xiao Wu and Tang San, all three of them are now level 29. Waiting for any of them to break through at level 30, take them to hunt for souls immediately. Since ordinary education methods are ineffective, then use unconventional methods. Let them experience the hardships of life and death, and it will be easier to unite. Zhao Wuji scratched his head. He always felt that this method was a bit unreliable, but he couldn't think of a better strategy for a while. The next morning, Tang San suddenly opened his eyes. He quickly found Xiao Wu without even having time to absorb the first ray of purple energy in the morning. Third brother, what's wrong? Xiao Wu rubbed her eyes and yawned repeatedly. Xiao Wu, I made a breakthrough. Oh. It seems that you haven't let up, Tang San. It was Qitian who spoke, and today was a rare day for him to get up early. From God's perspective, today was the day when Shrek Academy set out to hunt for souls. He couldn't get up early to prepare. Tang San smiled lightly and said, Qitian, after I break through, let's have a spar. Qitian had no reason to refuse, but he had to go to Tiando Royal Academy afterwards. As for the discussion, I'm afraid it could only be postponed. After having breakfast, porridge and half a steamed bun, everyone gathered on the playground in front of the college. Dai Mubai and Ma Hongjun stood in the team with tired faces. Ma Hongjun was even quietly showing off his achievements last night. Ning Rongrong was in a good mood today. She stood next to Qitian and whispered, Brother Qitian, let me tell you. What she said was nothing more than gossipy things, but Qitian didn't listen. Soon, Flanders appeared in front of everyone. After scanning for a week, his face looked a little ugly. Teacher Zhao told me what happened last night. However, I won't deal with your problems for now. Tang San, you and Oscar are in the same dormitory. Why is he late? Tang San looked embarrassed. When he broke through level 30 in the morning, he was anxious to share his joy with Xiao Wu and did not notice Oscar's condition. Dean, he should still be practicing. How about I go? Halfway through the words, Oscar's joyful voice came from the distance. Dean, I have made a breakthrough. I am now level 30. Flender's expression softened a lot. According to the countermeasures he came up with last night, he can now implement them. Dean, I've also broken through level 30, can you help me get a spirit ring? Tang San touched his nose and whispered, normally, the academy is obliged to help students obtain soul rings. But I heard from Dai Mubai that Shrek Academy didn't seem to have such rules, and many students died while hunting for souls. Tang San was a little unsure of Flanders's thoughts, and when he spoke, his tone seemed particularly cautious. Chapter 58 The Obscene Oscar. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Yes, Tang San and Oscar, you did not disappoint me. You are the third and fourth among all students to reach level 30. On behalf of the Academy, I congratulate you. When the conversation changed, Flender's face became extremely serious. Xiao Wu, Ning Rongrong, and Dai Mubai came out. 3 people were named at the same time, and combined with what Flanders said before, everyone understood that it was most likely because of what happened last night. Ning Rongrong, since you have decided to stay at Shrek Academy, why do you still have conflicts with your classmates? Dean, I didn't. Yes. Before she could finish speaking, Flanders interrupted her forcefully, did I let you speak? And Mubai, as an old senior of Shrek Academy, is this how you treat new classmates? Dai Mubai lowered his head and did not dare to say a word. You must know that in Shrek Academy, Flanders is the only one who exists, and there is almost no possibility of changing the things he believes in. And Xiaowu, when Mubai and Ning Rongrong had a dispute, why didn't you say anything to stop it, but instead took the initiative to intensify the conflict? We are all classmates. If there is a real confrontation, wouldn't it be good for you? Remember, you are a unit. You will both prosper and suffer. You even want to engage in internal fighting. If this dean sees you like this next time, get out of here. Shrek Academy doesn't need people like you who ignore discipline. In general, Flender can be regarded as playing 50-50, and will settle the dispute first, then, he continued, since Tang San and Oscar have broken through the 30th level of soul power, your punishment will be temporarily exempted. Later, Teacher Zhao will take you to the Star Doe Forest to hunt for souls. This time, it is a test for your team when it comes to collaboration. If Teacher Zhao gives feedback to this dean and you still act your own way, what awaits you next will be hellish training. Do you understand? Yes. Everyone responded in unison whether they liked it or not. After Flanders said dismissed, he left the playground. Dai Mubai turned away and had no intention of settling the differences with Ning Rongrong and Xiao Wu. Ning Rongrong also had no intention of giving in. She walked to Qitian and stood still, asking, Brother Qitian, have you been to the Star Doe Forest? I heard from my family that the Star Doe Forest is the largest on the Douluo Continent. The Soul Beast Forest is home to countless powerful soul beasts. The Qibao Glazed Sect is based near Tiando City. Ning Rongrong does not need high-level soul rings, so the Sunset Forest on the outskirts of Tiando City is enough to provide the soul rings she needs. Hearing Ning Rongrong's voice, Tang San also became interested. Qitian graduated from Notting College 3 months early just to obtain the third soul ring. According to the information he received from Yushao Jiang, Qitian could only have gone to the Star Doe Forest. At present, Tang San does not have such a broad vision, so he is eager to know the difference between the Star Doe Forest and the Soul Hunting Forest. Qitian casually replied, it's similar to an ordinary forest, just bigger. As he spoke, he saw Zhao Wuji walking towards him and quickly ended the topic, let's not talk about it for now. Teacher Zhao is here. Zhao Wuji also guessed that there would be barriers between everyone, but the main event was yet to come, so he was not in a hurry. The dean is angry with you, so before we leave, I will take you to complete today's lessons. It stands to reason that there won't be too many complicated courses on the first day of school. Everyone is also curious about what today's lesson will be. Oscar is out. Zhao Wuji said. Teacher Zhao, you won't let me fight with others, right? Oscar asked weakly. Zhao Wuji pretended to be angry and said, with your body type, anyone else can kill you casually. Today's lesson is that everyone eats one sausage made by Oscar. When we finish eating, we will set off. Seeing everyone's sad expressions, Oscar felt extremely happy. Zhao Wuji added, on the battlefield, the food provided by the food-based Soul Master can quickly restore the Soul Master's state, especially when he is seriously injured. Many people still covet Oscar's sausage. How dare you be picky eaters? Qitian had never tried the food of a food-type Soul Master, so he was the first to step forward and said, Oscar, let me try both of your sausages. Oscar blinked his eyes mischievously and muttered, I have a big sausage, I have a small sausage. If you don't listen to the sound, Oscar's actions are quite serious, you can add the sound. Qitian took the sausage, and Oscar did not forget to give him a lewd look. Turning away, Qitian quickly swallowed 2 sausages. After eating, he did not forget to comment, the sausages are good. Please keep your voice down when you recite incantations in the future. With Qitian as the leader, Ning Rongrong was eager to give it a try and soon tried a sausage. Third brother, do we want to eat too? Xiao Wu retreated. Tang San sighed, Xiao Wu, this is today's lesson. Everyone has eaten it, so we don't want to be special. Just think of it as an ordinary sausage, and don't think about Oscar's weird spell. In the end, most people reluctantly ate Oscar's sausage. Oscar looked at everyone mischievously and kept asking how the sausage tasted, except for Qitian. Everyone sneered at this wretched guy. Humph, since you don't like it, from now on my sausages will only be eaten by Qitian. As he said that, he winked at Qitian. Although he is a love rival, Oscar needs the approval of others more, so his view of Qitian has changed a lot. Just now, Qitian asked for 2 sausages simply because he didn't eat enough in the morning. Even if he wants to eat it later, he won't be able to eat it. Okay, stop bickering and let's go. Zhao Wuji urged, Shrek Academy is not very far from the Star Forest, but it has to take care of the slowest people in the team. And without taking a carriage, the fastest way to arrive is in the evening. I won't take action until I encounter the 1,000-year soul beast. If you can't even defeat the 1,000-year soul beast, you deserve to be killed. Zhao Wuji said on the way. Before this class, teachers at Shrek Academy rarely obtain soul rings for their students. If it weren't for Flanders' death order, he wouldn't have wanted to make this trip. My teacher said that when a soul master is hunting souls, every member of the team should have his or her own position. Tang San took the opportunity to speak. I plan to take this opportunity to unite everyone. Xiao San, your teacher must be a great wise man. Oscar agreed with a smile. You know, as a food-based soul master, he is not popular. Taking him to hunt souls is more like a mascot. Since Tang San arranged a position for him, he was naturally happy to see the results. Mubai and Qitian are powerful attack-type soul masters. The front and rear of the team will be left to you. Oscar and Ning Rongrong are auxiliary soul masters, and I am a control-type soul master. We stand in the middle of the team. Little Wu and Fatty are on the flanks, responsible for supporting at all times. As for Zhu Qing, you are an agility and attack-type soul master, a natural scout. Chapter 59. A soul master who dares not cause trouble is not a good soul master. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Qitian had no objection to Tang San's arrangement. On the contrary, he still has a learning attitude. The personnel configuration in the team is something that only the Intermediate Soul Master Academy can learn. Since he chose to skip the Intermediate Soul Master Academy and directly enter the Advanced Soul Master Academy, he could only learn this knowledge by himself. Qitian and Dai Mubai did not deal with them. Based on their current positions, they decided who would go to the front to open the way and who would stay behind to guard the rear. It's just that Tang San was a little careless. Ning Rongrong can still add auxiliary soul skills to herself. Even though there is a 50% attenuation, the effect is still good. On the other hand, Oscar is not only weak, but he also has no bonuses and quickly becomes a liability. Dai Mubai's speed in opening the road ahead continued unabated. In order to ensure that Oscar didn't fall behind, Tang San's team immediately became disconnected. For this reason, Zhao Wuji stopped everyone and also criticized Tang San and Dai Mubai. In the evening, Shrek and the others finally arrived at Soul Beast Town. I'm exhausted. This is too far. Ma Hongjun gasped for air, unable to straighten his waist. Dai Mubai kicked him and said angrily, I told you to lose weight, but you're still not happy. It's okay now. Don't yell around here, go and eat quickly. Zhao Wuji urged, turned around and left to mind his own business. Teacher Zhao, won't he eat with us? Tang San asked in confusion. Dai Mubai replied, the dean has a rule that teachers cannot eat with students. Moreover, teachers cannot take any benefits from students. I just like the clear relationship in the academy. Ma Hongjun added, this rule is one of the few in Shrek Academy that is worthy of promotion. You know, many students spend a lot of money just to let the teacher give them a small meal. If things go on like this, the gap between civilian students and aristocratic students will become wider and wider. Without thinking any more, Qitian walked into the restaurant, sat down at a large table, and casually said, I'll treat you to whatever you want to eat. This meal should be treated as a break-up meal. He muttered something silently in his mind. Ma Hongjun rubbed his little hands, and his little mouth looked like it was smeared with honey. Brother Qitian, just pay attention to this meal. From now on, wherever you can use me, Ma Hongjun, just ask. Xiao Wu picked up the menu and ordered a lot in revenge. After all, she and Qitian didn't deal with each other very well, so there weren't many opportunities to trick each other. Finally, Tang San had no choice but to speak, and then she was willing to give up. Before the food was ready, a group of erratic guys rushed into the restaurant. Boss Dai, they are from Tsanhui College. Ma Hongjun said while eating the chicken drumstick in his hand. The little Tsanhui Academy is so arrogant. Dai Mubai said loudly with a fearless look on his face. When the people from Tsanhui College saw this, they were about to take action, but were stopped by Yi Zhiqiu. Qitian made plans to watch the show. neither side is a good person, so let's fight. What does it have to do with him? Food is the most important thing. It is worth mentioning that among the Tsanghui students, there is a female student with a pretty good figure. Ma Hongjuan's eyes were straight. Even though the other party warned him many times with his eyes, he still didn't restrain himself. The reason why Yi Zhiqiu didn't let them take action before was largely because he was afraid that there was a strong man hiding behind Dai Mubai. But the clay figures are still angry, and they are not people who are good at forbearing. Yi Zhiqiu winked, and a student slowly walked towards Dai Mubai's position with a pot of soup in his hand. But when he walked to Ma Hongjun, he tripped over him and spilled all the soup on himself. Which college are you from? Yi Zhiqiu, the team leader, quickly stood up and asked angrily. Han Dao, you are not worthy. Dai Mubai said cynically. Arrogant boy. Yi Zhiqiu frowned. He didn't know whether Dai Mubai was really confident or just pretending to be calm. Xiao Wu quickly put down the food in her hands and walked forward excitedly. Fighting and stuff like that are my favorite. Yi Zhiqiu winked, and a young man behind him stepped forward to discuss with Xiao Wu. The two men's attacks were very fierce, with the intention of killing each other. It was obvious that Xiao Wu was even more powerful. Is this the Advanced Soul Master Academy? It's nothing more than that. Xiao Wu said with her head held high. Everyone in Sanhui Academy couldn't bear it and activated their martial spirits one after another. However, among these guys, there are still 10-year soul rings. Tian thought it was normal. To enter the Advanced Soul Master Academy, one only needed to have soul power above level 21 and be under 25 years old. Sanhui College is not an old and well-known university, and the admission standards are relatively low. Besides, even for Kamikaze Academy, not all of their students are the first ring in a century. Dai Mubai stood in front of the crowd and shouted, "Brothers, activate your martial spirit." Zhu Zhuqing originally planned to take action. After all, she knew that as a whole, we shared weal and woe. Seeing that Qitian and Ning Rongrong were still sitting in their seats, she hesitated for a moment, but still did not choose to take action. However, Dai Mubai's words still received a response. At least Tang San clearly stood behind him this time. Just as the two sides were at war with each other, Tian shouted, "Teacher Zhao, if you don't come out, they will be beaten to death." There are still people. Yi Zhiqiu looked around with a vigilant expression. They saw a tall but short man staring at them with burning eyes. Dai Mubai and others' mouths twitched slightly. Their strength far surpassed those of Sanhui Academy, so why were they beaten to death? Don't destroy other people's property, let's go out and solve the problem. Zhao Wuji's eyes were cold and he walked out of the house first. Yi Zhiqiu and his people quickly followed. Although there was no more fighting, everyone felt relieved after seeing Zhao Wuji come forward. Ma Hongjun sat back in his seat and said proudly, "The dean said that a soul master who dares not cause trouble is not a good soul master. If Teacher Zhao hadn't appeared early, we would have defeated those guys long ago." Oh. Tian became interested and asked with a smile, "What if that Yi Zhiqiu is a Contra or a title Douluo? Do you still dare to offend him?" Dai Mubai said disdainfully, "That guy is the Resurrection Douluo. I don't think he even has a soul emperor." In fact, everyone knows the answer to this question. When facing the strong, they use another set of rhetoric, such as maintain a reverent heart and never make the strong unhappy. But if you face a weak person, doesn't it mean that a soul master who dares not cause trouble is not a good soul master? Whether they are following the wind or relying on strength to bully the weak remains to be pondered. In the final analysis, it was Dai Mubai and Ma Hongjun who started the matter. Tian didn't want to be forced into it, so letting Zhao Wuji come forward was the best choice. Not long after, there was an exclamation and a scream from outside the door. "Oh my God, it's actually Lord Soul Saint. Is such a strong man here to hunt for souls?" As for that scream, it came from Yi Zhiqiu. Having never been taught a lesson by Tang Hao, Zhao Wuji activated his martial spirit this time. The Soul Saint goes to beat up the Soul King, and one can imagine Yi Zhiqiu's ending. Chapter 60, Phoenix-tailed Cockscomb Snake, Meng Yiran. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The sky had just turned white, and everyone from Shrek had already gathered at the entrance of the Star Forest. After entering the forest, you must stand in accordance with Tang San's previous formation, and there must be no disconnection. There will be many uncontrollable situations in the Star Doe forest. Maintaining a good formation can avoid being attacked to a large extent. Zhao Wuji warned with a serious look. Along the way, Qitian was looking for options for Tang San's third soul ring. As long as Tang San didn't absorb the spirit ring of the spider spirit beast, so what if he had good luck, the 8 spider spears would definitely have no chance with him. In the afternoon, Zhu Zhuqin, who was exploring the road ahead, stopped. There is a flying snake approaching us rapidly. It does not fly high, only about 2 or 3 meters above the ground. There is a blood-red flesh crown on the top of its head, which looks bigger than its head. Zhao Wuji, who was following the team at the end, his eyes lit up. This is a phoenix-tailed crested snake. Generally speaking, this type of soul beast provides speed-related soul skills. Oscar, you are blessed. If you can inherit with the flying ability of the phoenix-tailed Cockscomb, your soul skills will be extremely powerful. Oscar looked excited and said, Dean, I want this one. No rush, Zukinking will first see how long it is. If the age is suitable for Oscar, then we will get this soul ring. Zhao Wuji did not expect it to go so smoothly. The shorter the time spent in the forest, the smaller the possibility of encountering danger. For now, let's help Oscar get the spirit ring first, hoping that when it's Tang San's turn, he can do it as quickly. Zhu Zhuqin replied, 6 to 8 meters. It is very fast and is already coming towards us. This is a crested snake that is between 1,300 and 1,800 years old. Everyone, be prepared to knock this guy down first, Zhao Wuji reminded. Since entering the forest, everyone in Shrek has been relatively united. Zhao Wuji thought that allowing them to cooperate in hunting this crested snake would be able to train everyone's tacit understanding to a great extent. It is not even impossible for Dai Mubai and others to put aside their previous suspicions. I'll take the lead, Tang San, you use Bluesilver Grass to block its retreat. After explaining, Tian took the initiative to move forward. So what if Oscar gets the soul ring of the crested snake? He already has a way to deal with air targets. In the future, Oscar's third soul skill will be useless in the future duel in the ring. In this case, Tian decided to help him. The 7 treasures turn out to be glass, and the 7 treasures have names. One is called strength, and the other is called speed. Ning Rongrong quickly activated his martial spirit, and 2 7-colored rays of light sank into Qitian's body. The latter's speed and strength increased by 30% at the same time. Mu Bai, go and support Qitian. Fatty, your martial spirit is a phoenix, and it has certain blood pressure against snake-like spirit beasts. Before Tang San could finish his arrangements, Qitian had already taken the initiative to fight against the phoenix-tailed Cockscomb snake. With God's perspective, he naturally knew that there was a wound on the crested snake's abdomen. If he hit this weak spot, the crested snake would definitely not be able to hold on for long. In desperation, Tang San had no time to release his soul skill, and with a casual tug, a large amount of Bluesilver Grass rushed towards the phoenix-tailed Cockscomb, and weaved into a large net in the air. It's too far. Boss Dai and I can't hit him with our attacks, Ma Hongjun said anxiously. Qitian relied on Qinyun's steps to jump back and forth between tree trunks without falling, but he and Dai Mubai could not. Although Ma Hongjun's martial spirit is a phoenix, it cannot fly. It is more like a fire-breathing chicken. Qitian, lure it over. Tang San shouted. His Bluesilver Grass also had a distance limit, and it was only 1 step away from reaching the phoenix-tailed Cockscomb. For this, he could only place his hope on Qitian. Why do you need to lure it? Just punch it in. The first soul skill is Xinglong Fist. Along with a dragon roar, Qitian's punch hit the crested snake's wound. The latter let out a wail of pain, and fell weakly into the net that Tang San had prepared in advance. Don't be stunned, this guy is going to die. Qitian shouted. Tang San didn't have time to think too much, and quickly pulled the phoenix-tailed Cockscomb snake in front of him through the Bluesilver Grass. Oscar rubbed his hands with a smile, took out the dagger from behind, and killed the big guy with 1 blow. His martial spirit is a fist, but how could he have such a strong attack power? The 1,000-year-old spirit beast was crippled by his blow. Zhao Wuji was puzzled. The physical strength of a soul beast is several times that of a soul master. Qitian severely injured the phoenix-tailed cockscomb snake with one punch, and the Millennium Soul Beast's strength is comparable to that of the Soul Lord. Doesn't that mean that Qitian can blow up a Soul Lord with one punch? Qitian, Xiao-san, thank you very much. Oscar bowed deeply. You're welcome. Qitian said lightly. Oscar is a breath of fresh air among the Shrek's 7 devils. He is neither as self-degenerate as Dai Mubai or Ma Hongjun, nor is he as pure as Tang San. At least Qitian doesn't hate him. Xiao Ao quickly absorbed the soul ring. We all want to know what kind of soul skills the phoenix-tailed cockscomb snake's soul ring will provide you. Just as Oscar was about to absorb the soul ring, a sharp voice interrupted him. "Oh, my cockscomb, you actually took away my cockscomb." Meng Yiran, snake woman. Qitian turned his eyes behind him and muttered silently in his heart, just like the original time and space, this crested snake was actually discovered by them first. Who are you? Zhao Wuji stood in front of everyone and looked at the newcomers with vigilant eyes. 7 soul rings, yellow, purple, black, and black, immediately appeared at his feet. Snake woman's expression changed slightly, but Meng Yiran beside her remained unyielding. How dare you steal my soul ring? I want you to look good. Yiran. Snake woman sighed softly and turned her gaze to Zhao Wuji. Dear soul saint, we discovered and injured this soul beast first. It's just that I'm not good at legs, so it escaped first. Why do you see it? Zhao Wuji frowned. After the other party saw his soul ring, he did not flinch and still chose to tell the truth. This proved that the other party either had the strength or background not to be afraid of him. The Star Do Forest is not a place that is unreasonable. There are soul masters fighting here almost all the time. The snake woman pointed at the crested snake, smiled slightly and said, Lord Soul Saint, take a closer look at the belly of this crested snake. There are 2 scars caused by the crutches in the old man's hand. Zhao Wuji stared at the other party intently, and then winked at Dai Mubai. Dai Mubai understood, stepped forward and turned the crested snake over. This was not only snake pa, but even Meng Yiran was stunned on the spot. The cockscomb snake's abdomen had already been beaten to pieces by Qitian. Not to mention scars, there wasn't even a piece of intact meat left. Good boy, let me tell you how you can kill the crested snake in one blow. That's it. Zhao Wuji laughed wildly in his heart. Qitian's move can be said to have completely resolved the trouble.